Greetings, family. I hope all is well with you, all is well with me. This conversation should either be live or with me in front of the camera. Unfortunately, it is not. And I may go over this again, but right now I am very much in my feelings. And I feel that it is important for me to come on and share with you what has got me so riled up. Now, I don't really sound riled up right now, but a minute ago, I'm telling you, I was about ready to cry. Let me explain why. I was unaware that a year ago, Jenifer Lewis, an Black American actress, singer, extraordinary woman that we love and respect from all of the shows on Hollywood, came to Africa and potentially could have been unalived due to a construction, an incomplete construction job. Now, she said to me, hear me, she spoke to me personally. Let me stop. There's an interview that she had with Robin Roberts, whatever her name is, on GMA, Good Morning America. I'm going to, let's see if I can find more information. Please forgive me, forgive the noise in the background. The men are working on the stairs for the tiny house. Okay, this was 1 year ago, well, March 12th, 2024, Jenifer Lewis recounts harrowing accidents, okay? She fell 10 feet off a balcony while on a trip of a lifetime. Can you imagine that? You're traveling to the motherland, as we so lovingly call the place. You're in awe. She goes to South Carolina, hear me, get it together, from South Africa to Rwanda, and then goes to the Serengeti, arrives in the evening at her hotel, and I'm sure she paid good money for that hotel. She mentioned getting settled in and then going out into her room where she saw an infinity pool. And she stopped to take in the glory and essence of what was before her eyes, and also taking in the excitement I'm sure she felt of being back, I'm saying back, spiritually, her ancestors and families and those that came before her, took them back to the motherland to end up going further out onto the balcony, and ain't no damn railing. Now hold up. Who would have thought that you would set me up in a hotel that was not completely done? Who would have thought that you would have a balcony door to my room that I have access to that does not have a balcony railing? She said she fell into rock, rubble, and iron pieces. You know, when I'm walking around my compound and I'm telling you about the manifestation, and this has to be fixed, and that has to be fixed, and I want real stairs and proper windows, and we're checking to see that the roof doesn't leak before we put the ceiling on, and I'm doing the ABCDs, and I'm checking every box, and I'm crossing every T to make sure that things are in order. Why? Because it's so easily for things to be out of order, and nobody tell you that they're out of order, and you have the potential for killing yourself, to being injured. Who wants to fall 10 feet to the floor and ground in the dark and then have to be put into the hospital? I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad she was in East Africa. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I don't know if they airlifted her back to South Africa, if she went to Tanzania. I'm not sure. But can you imagine if that happened here in the Gambia? Look, I'm not throwing no shade at Gambia. This is an up and coming country. But the medical system, it's not ready for that kind of fall. Now, I stopped the audio, the post that she had. I don't know if she goes over the internal injuries, but she was on life support, or what I call life support. She had the oxygen tank she had the oxygen tube in her mouth. Is that life support? I'm not a nurse nor a doctor. I worked at a law firm, so to me, that's life support. Without it, because she had breathed on her own. So I've been here for 4 years already. I know how things are. Certain things I don't lean on. I go to a balcony, I don't lean on a balcony. I don't lean on a balcony railing. I don't lean on a stair railing. Your support has to be from your core and your own body. You're not going to, after a while, the railing starts getting shaky. I'm trying to see, where was I? I was walking up and down something in a railing. Oh, that's funny. That was in my own house in Queens. I had someone staying with me. They were living, and they would like put all their weight on the railing as they went up and down the stairs. Or then I remember we'd be outside at the front door talking, and they were leaning on the rail, and I would be like, can you please not do that because the railing is loose? And they would stop for a while, then they would lean on it again, then the railing was loose again, and I was just like, okay. But eventually, I had to call my contractor, and when I did some work in front of the house, I made sure that he secured that railing to the posts again. Unfortunately, things get unfinished in certain places if you don't go back and remind them that this has to be done. This has to be done. I am constantly going, when are we doing that? When are we moving this rubble to make a real step? Oh, Mom, we have to wait because the man needs to push. So that's being done at the very end. How about, when can we start to move all of this rock and rubble from around the house? When can we take this excessive dirt while they dig out that soak away and put that someplace else, so that the person that's renting my space is comfortable walking around? And more importantly, very importantly, are the grounds safe? Is there a pathway? Are there pavements? We come in here with maybe bad backs, poor hips, sensitive knees and ankles, and then we're easily walking on uneven streetways and potentially getting our feet wet as we step into puddles and mud, and we can easily slip, and fall or twist an ankle, and then our ability to move around is challenged as we try to heal here in the Gambia. Because we're not Jenifer, we don't have Jenifer Lewis money. We don't have Jenifer Lewis clout. And so then how does that look like for recovery? When you're moving around in these Gambian streets, when you're moving around these African streets, when you're going to these hotels, honey, turn on the lights and check everything. And most importantly, don't expect to lean on the rail. Peace and love, family. Do me a favor. For those who know, go to Jenifer Lewis Recounts Harrowing Accident, Good Morning America. That was in March of 2024. Let me tell you something. Now, March of 2024, yeah, I was still here in the Gambia because I didn't leave for the United States until July 6th of 2024. If I had been here and I knew that the first experience that this sister had in Africa was to go and get hurt and her life be taken from her, oh man, I would have been very, very upset. We have to learn to check things out in advance. Okay, excuse me. This may have to be another video. Okay, you know why I'm choking? This is funny. So my friend, she brought with her mothballs. I was either on the phone with her one night or I had spoken to her later in the day, and I told her, girl, I went into the bathroom and there was a snake. A snake, not a big snake, but snake is snake. Don't ask me how big was it, how long was it. It was a garden snake. It don't even doggone matter. It was a what do they call that term for others? It was a snake in my bathroom. And I'm like, even with my bad vision, I could see that was a snake. I was like, that ain't no thread. That's not thread. Why would there be thread or string in the shower that I had just left about an hour to 2 hours ago? What's that black thing? Oh, baby, don't turn on the lights because you don't want to see it. And mostly you don't want to startle it. You got to call 911. He knows who 911 is, and get that thing out. So my friend says, let me bring you some mothballs. So I put mothballs by an open window just to see how, I'm trying to keep those lizards and spiders and things out. I will put some also by the doorways, but I got stuff chinked up by the door. I went to Home Depot and got those door strips that I have to get drilled onto the door. I'm doing all that. That's why I have screens outside around the doorways to, alleviate crawly things that should stay outside from coming inside. But I'm sitting here behind the mothballs that are by the window. They're over here. And the wind is blowing. And girlfriend is choking. I'm choking up a storm because the wind, and they dissolve after a while. So do me a favor, y'all, when y'all come visit, bring me some more mothballs. I feel like I'm in my grandmama's house. The scent of mothballs feel very familiar to me. Anyway, I'll tell you another quick story. I was see that angle? That's the angle into the guest bedroom. I have to tell you, that's gonna be. I have not really gotten there yet. Like they painted and it's just full of stuff that I brought back and stuff that I had to uncover and put in plastic. But look at that pretty grayish blue. I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. Sister there be like, you can't walk up in this house and see that. Is she a mean mug? Is that a mean? Is that a mean? The eyes are so piercing. And in the evenings, when I'm sitting in the chair drinking my tea or just relaxing and watching the sunset, I look at her and be like, okay, okay. That energy coming from that picture is real. This one here is softening and loving. That was the last, not the last, but I had this one made on the horizontal because I wanted it to go over the sofa. All of these pictures are done by Aliu. Oh, I'm being ignorant. What's his last name? I want to say Jallo, but it's probably not. Oh, shucks. Is that right? Aliu Jallo. I love it. Okay. Um, and then Jackie made some for me too. Jackie, what's your last name? This is a Jamaican Brit who's here. She took some. I took pictures at the beach. The first year or two that I was in the Gambia, I would go walking on the beach in the mornings, and I captured some pictures that I took from my phone and gave them to her, and she put them on canvas. One of them was over here on this wall. It was attached to a Velcro, sticky Velcro that had to be removed when they painted. So I haven't hung it up yet. So I'm waiting. But anyway, let me just share this very quickly with you. I remember we went to the top of a building that had office space, and it was empty, and I was with a friend, and she was imagining what work or business could be done there in that space, and la la la. And I remember we went out onto the overhang of the roof, and she leaned like most people would do. She leaned on the balcony railing. And I said, girl, get off that railing because you don't know how secure it is. Now, I'm going to say this without trying to offend people, but I'm going to tell the truth. It's okay. A lot of things are not regulated the way you would think that they are. And sometimes there is poor construction or the need to go back and tighten and reinforce, which is why I'm not too angry over the work that I had to do to get back into my home. I was going to repaint anyway. I did not think it was going to look like an abandoned, I can't even really explain to you, like an abused, abandoned, uncared for home. I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to leave. This is my home with the blinds down. This was around the time of the day that I went to go visit my compound for the first time after being away for 1 year. The blinds were down, right? Sorry, the blinds are down now. When I came, the blinds were up. Every blind in the house was up. I have a blinds Over here in the living room, I have blinds in the bedroom. Every window was open. Thank God I have screens, but every window was open. But when I walked up in here, I felt a dark, dirty, and dank spirit on my house. Same time of the day, but a different spirit. If my house had been cleaned and then the ceiling fell, because the ceiling did fall, and I'm explaining to you in a little bit more in detail about how that happened or why it happened, and then what I did to alleviate it, and trust and believe it'll never happen again. And it's something that I think every homeowner, every builder should have on their home regarding their water tank. Something so simple as see, I'm forgetting the word. Hold on. Bear with me. What do we call it? You just drop it in. A floater. A floater. I'm gonna break this up. Let's talk about the floater. My house is on solar, so it's ran with electricity from the sun. And they said, oh, just drop a floater in the tank. And you think it's that simple, but it's not. But thank goodness I have a plumber/electrician that knows what he's doing. Omar got me a floater that's attached to the water tank and the borehole. So what does that mean? Never, ever, never, ever, never, never, ever do I have to go out and turn on the borehole to provide water to fill up the water tank. Now, the average person will open up the water tank fills up, you fill it up to overflowing. Sometimes you forget, it fills up to overflowing, you hear the water fall, you go and you turn it off. If you remember, and if you're here, there's been about 2 or 3 times I have opened up the borehole to put water into the tank. Maybe during the morning it was kind of cloudy, so there wasn't enough sun energy because it wasn't on batteries yet, so there wasn't enough energy to fill up the tank, and then I'd be rushing to get to a water class or yoga or something like that, another obligation, and get to the main road and be like, ooh, did I turn that off? And then because I wasn't sure, had to go back around and check. I think maybe twice I had not turned it off. If you don't remember and you don't go back, that water will keep flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing till about maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun starts to go down and the power is low. My water tank is not on a water tower because I didn't like that look. My water tank is on the top of my house, which means what? The water is flowing on the roof of the house. So I fixed that thanks to Omar. And so now I never, ever, never, ever, never. Yes, that is crooked. I have to fix that. I got to get a carpenter to adjust the shelves because that has been damaged. A couple of things need some of my cabinets in the kitchen, the spacing between. Let me show you. Yes, it is a big thing. Is it a big deal? It's a big deal. When it's your cabinets, it is. The spacing between the cabinets are a little off. This cabinet is slanted. I'm gonna have them shimmy it up with some wood so that it's properly even, because it wasn't like that before I left. This cabinet here is warped with water, and you can see that the cabinet on the left drops down and the space gets widened. It's supposed to be narrow. I liked it narrow. You know why? Nothing could crawl through. Now, I don't know what the heck is underneath there, but that has to be fixed. And then there was some water damage that caused the wood to rot or warp. And I am going to have Quality Kitchen come back and fix that as well. This is the cleanest my kitchen has been since before I left. Ashe. I don't know what's happening with this clock. It seems like it's moving. Is that the right time? That may be the right time. Ooh, okay. Anyway, what else? I had just wanted to talk to you about Jenifer Lewis, and it went a little bit deeper than that. And it should have been a bit more interactive by going live. But if you get an opportunity to, maybe I'll premiere this with other things. How do I do that? If I go to Zoom, record this, upload it, we'll see. We'll see. I think if I go into studio, I can premiere this. And we'll talk about Jenifer Lewis and other things. Anyway. Once again, I'm home and I am relaxing at home as the men continue to build. That's different on the wall. That design was not like that originally. The red knife was on a slant, and when the person removed it, I couldn't get it to lay right again, and maybe when it's not so hot, I can figure it out, because I don't really like the way it looks. I don't like the way it looks unless I take that other one and have it go straight down, have it on the vertical. I don't know. It may not even really be that important.